I am Dr. Ceena from Shri M.D. Shah Mahila College of Arts and Commerce, Malad. Today, we will be looking at module number 3, and the title of the module is Industrial Finance. The contents what we are going to cover in today's lecture is, first will be the introduction, the types and sources of industrial finance, development financial institution. Under development financial institution, the topics what we are going to cover is Industrial Finance Corporation of India, State Financial Corporation, Industrial Development Bank of India, Small Industries Development Bank of India. We are going to critically appraise these industrial financing institutions, and at the end of the chapter, we will be doing some questions for self-study. After going through this lesson, you will be able to understand what are the types and sources of industrial finance, evaluate the performance of financial institutions. First, introduction. The study of industrial finance is an important aspect in industrial economics. There are two major dimensions of such study. One is the source of finance, and second is its effective utilization. The business firms take decision on various issues of these dimensions of financing. Such decisions will have widespread ramification as activities of firm are interrelated and finance is involved in all the activities. For example, a firm can raise finance for expansion either from borrowing from the market, reduction in dividend payments, or by curtailing expenditure on the corporate activities. If the firm has borrowed from the market, it has to pay interest, also risk is involved. If the finance is raised through lowering of dividend money, the price of the stock of the company will be adversely affected. If the corporate activities are lowered for providing finance for expansional activities, then the firm may lose its competition position on the market, which in turn may affect its earning. Thus, making a choice of financing these aspects has to be taken into consideration, as it has an effect on the performance of the firm. There will be similar effects that utilization side of finance have on the performance of the firm. A firm having excess liquid assets in its financial structure may lose profitability. On the other hand, too much of fixed assets too may lead to a situation when the firm experiences shortage of working assets leading to poor liquidity. Considering all such possibilities, the firm has to maintain a proper balance in its assets. In the lesson, the various sources of finance has been discussed. Also, discussion is made on the prominent financial institutions. Now let's look at the type and sources of industrial finance. Sources of finance can be divided into two categories, internal and external. Under internal source, the following sources of funds can be placed: retained earnings, depreciation and taxation provision, and reserves and surplus. The external sources can be further classified into two categories: short-term and medium-term and long-term funds. Short-term and medium-term external fund comprises of bank credit, hire purchase, debt trade credit, and fixed deposits. Long-term external funds includes the sale of shares and loan capital. Now let's look at the internal sources. Internal sources are generated within the firm itself. It mainly constitutes of reserve and surplus, which a business firm accumulates annually by retaining a portion of its profit. Other significant sources of funds are annual provision for depreciation, allowances, taxation, etc. Internal funds are mainly used for long-term purpose like capacity expansion, replacement of old and unserviceable fixed assets. However, there is no rigidity in the use of internal funds. It can also be used for short-term purpose. The availability of reserves and surplus for investment depends mainly on the following factors: past and current profits, dividend policy, scope and expansion of the firm. The availability of depreciation further depends upon the amount of capital invested on fixed assets, rate of discount, etc. The internal fund available from other sources such as tax provision, development rebate depend upon the government fiscal and investment policies. Their share in the total internal fund is generally negligible. External funds. External funds for short purpose is mainly raised through bank credit, hire purchase, bill of exchange, commercial papers, trade credit, and fixed deposit. Banks are traditionally source of short-term finance for industrial concern. They provide credit to industry and trade in the form of loan and overdraft facilities, basically to overcome their working capital requirement. Such loans have short-term maturity of within a year. On maturity, either the loan is repaid with interest or renewed for the following year. Also, banks provide credit to trade and industry for medium purpose to meet the requirement of fixed capital formation. This credit facility is provided to industry pending the raising long-term finance through other sources. Availability of bank finance depend upon good banking relation, interest rate, creditworthiness of the firm, repayment term, nature of the business, whether it's risky, etc. Let's look at trade credit. Trade credit are another significant source of short-term financing. It refers to the sale of goods on non-cash terms. A firm receives trade credit when it pays in arrears for goods and services received from its suppliers. It gives trade credit when it allows its customers time for repaying the bill. Trade credit is generally given and received by the firm largely operating in manufacturing and distribution sectors. The four important factors which determine the volume of trade credits are nature of the product, the seller's financial strength, the buyer's financial strength, and the terms of sale. Another source of short-term finance is commercial paper, which consists of unsecured promissory notes of large firms sold primarily to other large firms and financial institutions. The bill of exchange is a simple example of a commercial paper which is widely used in financial market for short-term fund. The use of bill exchange is restricted to large firms. Deferred checks are generally preferred over the bills of exchange. The success of bills of exchange in credit market depends upon the goodwill of the business firm. Commercial papers, including bill of exchange, are usually cheaper than the unsecured loan bank. Another mechanism of short-term financing is hire purchase system. This practice helps the firm to purchase machinery and plants and other durable goods in installments, and the security of the loan resides in the goods purchased as they belong to the supplier till full payment is made for them. The system of financing through convenient can be expensive. It is more appropriate for medium fund financing rather than short term. Fixed deposit issued by the companies under the Companies Acceptance Deposit Rules 1975 is also gaining popularity for short-term, medium-term and long-term purpose. It is a cheaper source of financing as compared to borrowing from the commercial banks. This facility is more enjoyed by large corporations. Small business usually resort to other source of financing mentioned above. Long-term finance is raised from external source in the form of share or equity capital and borrowings. The shares are sold in the market in two forms, ordinary and preference shares. Borrowing of capital for long-term purpose is done in various forms, such as bank loans, institutional finance, and debentures. Banks provide long-term loans generally at low rate of interest as compared to short-term and medium-term loan. Hence, commercial banks usually discourage such loans as they are unremunerative and they are also more risky than short and medium-term loan. Institutional finance generally meet long-term financial requirement of the firm. International sources such as IMF, World Bank, Asian Bank also provide long-term loans to the firm through the government channel. Foreign aid is also an important source of long-term external finance. Bond and debentures are popular debt instruments. A growing practice in most industries are now to issue debentures. Bond and debentures are alike as far as the functions are concerned. Both being debt instruments save corporate income tax. However, a bond is issued for some time, but debentures has no such limit of time. Now let's cover development financial institutions. The development of a country largely depends upon the strength and structure of financial institution. On one hand, And on the other hand, how do they operate? These institutions are vehicles of development and innovation. They help to forge a link between the savers and investors. In India, the need for specialized financial institution to meet the requirement of term finance was first realized as early as 1945, when Reserve Bank of India recommended a proposal for the setting up of an all-Indian financial institution. The suggestion took a concrete shape in 1948 when IFCI was established. It was expected to provide medium and long-term finance to the industry concerns, including cooperatives, only when they could not generate funds through the other long-term source of finance. The establishment of IFC was followed by the setting up of financial institutions in the state level. The first step in state-level financial institution was the Tamil Nadu Industrial Investment Corporation in 1949. The Government of India enacted the State Financial Corporation Act in 1951, which came into effect in 1952. Several states established state financial corporation thereafter. Essentially, state financial corporations were meant to supplement the work of IFCI by making finance available to small and medium industrial units. Over the years, a well-knit structure of financial institution has evolved in the country, both at the national level and at the state level. At the national level, the financial institution which operate are All India Development Financial Institution. Under this, we have Industrial Finance Corporation of India, Industrial Development Bank of India, Small Industries Development Bank of India, and Industrial Investment Bank of India. Both IDBI and ICCI now cease to act as an all-Indian financial institution. Rather, they operate as a universal bank. Second category is specialized financial institution. Export-Import Bank, IFCI Venture Capital Fund, ICCI Venture Fund, Tourism Finance Corporation, and Infrastructure Development Finance Company fall under this category. The next category is investment institution. Under this category, we have Life Insurance Corporation of India, Unit Trust of India, and General Insurance Corporation of India. Next one, refinance institution. National Housing Bank, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Other financial institutions are Export Credit and Guarantee Corporation of India and Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. At the state level, there are 18 state financial corporation and 28 state industrial development corporation. The performance of development institution exceptionally well till the turn of the century. The aggregate assistance sanctioned and disbursed by all the financial institutions increased considerably up to 2000-2001. In 2000-2001, assistance sanctioned and disbursed by all the financial institutions stood at rupees 1,20,548 crore and rupees 75,364 crore respectively. The performance was severely affected after 2001. In 2007 and 2008, financial assistance sanctioned and disbursed by these financial institutions amounted to rupees 58,714 crore and 45,981 crore respectively. These data show the financial assistance from all the financial institutions in 2007 and 8 was substantially lower than the assistance provided by these institutions in 2000-2001. The official reason given by the authorities for the dismissal performance of financial institutions were reduction in the number of projects, financial restructuring of asset portfolios by financial institution, weak financial position of IDBI and ICCI, spread of universal banking. However, during the same period, there is spurt in the financial assistance provided by LIC. In 2008 and 9, financial assistance sanctioned and disbursed by LIC amounted to rupees 1,05,229 crore and 94,269 crore respectively. Now, let's look at the performance of Industrial Finance Corporation of India. IFCI was set up as a statutory corporation in July 1948 under Special Act, which was later converted to a public limited company. It provides financial assistance of a medium and long-term nature to public limited companies and cooperative societies engaged in manufacturing or processing of goods, mining, generation, and distribution of electricity, power, shipping, and hotel industry. IFCI provides financial assistance to new projects as well as for expansion, renovation, modernization, or diversification of existing ones. This may include the purchase of plant and machinery, construction of factory, building, and purchase of land for the factory. Normally, IFCI do not provide finance for payment of existing liabilities and for raising working capital. The IFCI provides financial assistance by way of both rupee and foreign currency loans, guaranteeing underwriting of shares and debentures, suppliers, buyers credit, and equipment leasing. It also provides project-based services like project counseling, issue management, loan syndication, financial restructuring, mergers and acquisition, and debentures trusteeship. IFCI have also set up a range of subsidiaries to diversify its activity, which include IFCI Financial Services Limited, IFCI Custodial Services, IFCI Investor Services, and Credit Rating Agency. These subsidiaries provide services like merchant banking, stock broking, register and transfer service, and rating of debt instruments. IFCI started its lending operation at a modest scale in 1948. But over the years, with greater industrialization in the country, the financial assistance provided by IFCI has grown by leaps and bounds. In 1970-71, the total financial assistance sanctioned by IFCI stood at Rs 38.3 crore, which has scaled to the height of Rs 13,209 crore in 2010-11. The major recipient of IFCI financial assistance is private sector companies in comparison to public sector companies and cooperatives. The performance of IFCI is commendable as seen from the huge financial assistance sanctioned by IFCI. But an in-depth study reveals there are serious loopholes in the lending operations of IFCI, which has invited criticism from different quarters. A. Its lending operation has accentuated concentration of wealth and capital. B. Its lending operation favors large-scale units. C. Lending activities further aggravates regional imbalances. For example, total fund received by units in Maharashtra is more than the funds received by units situated in 5 backward states taken together: Assam, Orissa, Kerala, Rajasthan, and Madhya Pradesh. IFCI has also failed to exercise necessary control over the defaulting borrowers. It has quite often offered assistance to undertaking which could easily raise resources from the capital market. The financial performance of IFCI has been extremely unsatisfactory. For the year ended 31st March 2002, IFCI has incurred loss worth Rs 885 crore on an income of Rs 2,249 crore. NPA has also been a concern for IFCI. In the year ending March 2005, NPA has moved up to 28%. However, things have lately improved for IFCI and there is upward movement in the operating profit. The operating profit of IFCI, which was minus 1.2% at the end of March 2004, has scaled up to 10.2% at the end of March 2007. All these facts together reveal that the health of IFCI is not very healthy. Next, we are going to cover State Financial Corporation. After the establishment of IFCI, state-level financial institutions were set up. The first attempt to set the state-level financial institution was the Tamil Nadu Industrial Invest Corporation. In 1949, the Government of India enacted the State Financial Corporation Act 1951, which came into effect in 1952. After the enactment of the Act, several states established State Financial Corporation. Essentially, State Financial Corporation were meant to supplement the work of IFCI by making finance available to small and medium and industrial units. At present, there are 18 state financial operating in the country. In the functioning of state financial corporation, state government has a role in the matters of administration, while RBI's role is more in the financial matter. All type of industrial concerns can get accommodation from a state financial corporation. Thus, the scope of activity of a state financial corporation is wider than that of the IFCI. A state financial corporation provides financial assistance, granting loan and advances for industrial concern for period not exceeding 20 years, guaranteeing of loans, underwriting of shares and debentures, subscribing to debentures floated by industrial concern. Besides the above function, state financial corporation also act as an agent to central and state government. IFCI, IDBI, all other special industrial financing institution in respect of grant or loans or advances or subscription to bonds and debentures. The State Financial Corporation had started the operation like IFCI at a modest scale. However, the cumulative assistance and disbursement by IFCI has witnessed a spurt in the recent period. Till March 1975, the cumulative assistance loan sanction and disbursed increased to rupees 41,089 crore and rupees 33,345 crore respectively. A significant feature of the lending operation of the State Financial Corporation is their emphasis on small enterprise and the units situated in the backward region. For the units in the backward region, State Financial Corporation provide the following services like soft loans at concessional rates, lower margins, reduced service charges, and so on. The impact of these services, there are greater number of enterprises in the backward regions than before. Despite the growth in loan sanction disbursed, the performance of State Financial Corporation is not satisfactory. First, they have not been able to satisfy the financial requirements of small and medium enterprise. Second, apart from the soft loan provided by them, for the other loans provided by State Financial Corporation, the rate of interest was high and the terms and conditions stringent. Third, State Financial Corporation overdue position has deteriorated considerably, which has cut into the resources available to State Financial Corporation for recycling. The next financial institution which we will be taking is Industrial Development Bank of India. IDBI was established in 1964 as an apex organization in the field of development financing. Initially, it was set up as a wholly owned subsidiary of the Reserve Bank of India. In February 1976, IDBI was made an autonomous institution and its ownership passed on from RBI to the Government of India. As an apex organization, it provides the following services to other financial institutions. It provides refinance facility against the loans granted to industrial concern by other development financial institutions, and rediscounts their machinery bills. It subscribes to the share capital and bond issues of the IFCI, the State Financial Corporation, and IIBI. Apart from these linkages, IDBI played the role of a coordinator at all India level. The other assistance provided by IDBI includes term loan to industrial units both in rupee and foreign currency, underwriting, direct subscription to debt instrument, equity of industrial concerns, offering guarantee in respect of term obligations of industrial concern. It also provides diversified financial products of non-project nature such as equipment finance, assets credit, and equipment leasing. It also offers merchant banking, debenture trusteeship, and forex service to the corporate, providing training in project evaluation and development of entrepreneurship. IDBI has also initiated a lot of measures to promote industries in the backward region, which include loans at a concessional rate of interest, longer initial grace period, concessional refinance assistance to projects in the backward areas, special concession to projects in northeastern area under the bill rediscounting scheme, helping potential entrepreneurs in identifying and formulating viable projects, technical assistance, etc. Industry-wise analysis of IDBI financial assistance reveals that core and manufacturing sectors like chemical and chemical products, textiles, electronic and electrical products, food manufacturing, artificial fibers accounted for the bulk of the assistance sanctioned and disbursed. IDBI, like other financial institutions, performed exceptionally well till the turn of century. Thereafter, the performance suffered. Till the end of March 2004, the cumulative financial assistance, IDBI has also initiated a lot of measures to promote industries in the backward regions, which include A. Loans at a concessional rate of interest, longer initial grace period, concessional finance assistance to projects in backward areas, special concession to projects in northeastern area under the bill rediscounting scheme, helping potential entrepreneurs in identifying and formulating viable projects, technical assistance, etc. Industry-wise analysis of IDBI financial assistance reveal that core and manufacturing sectors like chemical and chemical products, textiles, electronic and electrical products, food manufacturing and artificial fibers accounted for the bulk of the assistance sanctioned and disbursed. IDBI, like other financial institutions, performed exceptionally well till the turn of century. Thereafter, the performance suffered. Till the end of March 2004, the cumulative financial assistance sanctioned and disbursed by IDBI amounted to Rs 2,23,524 crore and 1,75,572 crore respectively. The sanctioned and disbursed amount by IDBI is almost equal to the amount of financial assistance provided by the other financial institutions taken together. In the background of underdeveloped nature of the capital market and the difficulties which a large number of firms encounter in raising funds from the market, this quantum of assistance is not small. IDBI exceptional performance is undisputable. Over the years, not only the amount disbursed by the IDBI has zoomed up, but also the range and pattern of assistance grew. This is a significant contribution in the light of underdeveloped nature of a capital market. However, it must be understood that IDBI has to develop as a true development bank. Its accent on providing loans and treating underwriting of shares and debenture as a secondary activity was not appropriate. Despite its claim that they want to reduce regional imbalance and also want to promote small-scale units, but the fact is that the bulk of its assistance has gone to big industrial concerns. IDBI has mainly concentrated on providing financial assistance. The promotion and consultancy work was not assigned the same importance as financial assistance. The next financial institution what we are going to cover is Small Industries Development Bank of India. That is SIDBI. SIDBI was established as a subsidiary of IDBI in 1989 with a view to ensure larger flow of financial and non-financial assistance to the small-scale sector. It became operational on April 2, 1990 and took over IDBI's operation relating to small sector. It was created as a principal institution for promotion, financial and development of industry in the small, tiny and cottage sector, coordinating the functions of other institutions engaged in similar activities. To equip SIDBI to play its apex role in SSI credit provisions more effectively, the government delinked SIDBI from IDBI and transferred IDBI shareholding in State Financial Corporation to SIDBI. Its activities include refinancing of term loans granted by State Financial Corporation, SIDC, commercial banks and other eligible financial institutions, direct discounting and rediscounting of bills arising out of the sale of machinery, capital equipment, components by manufacturers in the small-scale sector. It also directly provides term loans and equipment finance to existing well-run small-scale units for taking up technology upgradation, modernization. SIDBI also provides assistance for infrastructure development, creating of marketing channels, and development of industrial areas. SIDBI provides equity-type assistance to special target groups like new entrepreneurs, women and servicemen under its different schemes. It also offers technical and support service for the development of small sector. The term loan and working capital finance extended by banks under the self-employment scheme have been made eligible for refinance assistance from SIDB to the extent of 100%. SIDB has also set a marketing finance and development department to give a focused attention to the marketing-related services needed by SSI for domestic and international markets. Till the end of March 2010, cumulative sanctions and disbursements by SIDB were of order of 2,37,251 crore and 1,64,223 crore respectively. Now let's critically evaluate the industrial financing institutions in India. While examining the importance of financial institution in providing financial assistance to industrial concern, we analyze it from qualitative and quantitative point of view. From qualitative point of view, the performance is excellent. The total assistance sanctioned and disbursed by financial institution in 1960-61 was mere 60.5 crore and 29.8 crore respectively. With the establishment of IDBI, the financial assistance provided by financial institution increased considerably. Total assistance sanctioned and disbursed by all Indian financial institution went to 8,01,998 crore and 5,82,156 crore respectively by the end of March 2004. But from qualitative point of view, the assistance provided by financial institution is not convincing. For example, one of the objectives of financial institution is to bring down regional imbalance. But when we inspect the facts, we see that the advanced states have received more financial assistance than the backward area. For example, 3 advanced industrial states of Maharashtra, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu together accounted for 45.7% of the total assistance sanctioned by all Indian financial institutions. Up to the end of March 2003, even when steps were taken to ensure more assistance to industries established in the backward area, the financial institution granted more assistance to backward areas of advanced states in comparison to backward areas of less developed states. Another areas of concern for the financial institution are the growing NPA and the rising cost of fund. These factors have made a huge dent on the profitability of financial institution. Also on account of the lackluster performance, they are finding it difficult to raise funds from the capital market. Despite all the criticism voiced against the performance of financial institution, we can say that financial institutions have played a catalytic role in promoting industrial development. Let's conclude it. The new economic environment unleashed after 1991 is posing serious difficulties to financial institutions. A. Initially, financial institutions used to obtain funds at a concessional rates from the government and RBI. As of now, they have to raise the resources in the open market at a market-related interest rate. B. Corporate sector, after capital market reforms, find it more easier to approach the capital market rather than depending upon the financial institution for funds. Government has relaxed the norms for FDI entry into India. The entry of venture capitalists has also increased the availability of risk capital to new generation entrepreneurs. All these factors have resulted in more funds with private sector, hence the demand for funds from financial institutions has decreased. ICCI and IDBI have tried to overcome the situation by converting themselves as a universal bank. The questions for self-study are: explain the different sources of industrial finance, critically evaluate the role of IFCI and State Financial Corporation in the field of industrial finance, what is the role played by IDBI and SIDB in the field of industrial finance. Also, discuss the role played by commercial banks in the field of industrial finance. Thank you. Today we are looking at the module External Sector. In this module, we will be covering trend and pattern of FDI in India, foreign investment flows since 1991, a critical appraisal, trend and pattern of Indian industry abroad, what is the meaning of merger and acquisition, what are the different forms of merger, and reason for merger and acquisition. After learning this chapter, what we can understand is the trend and pattern of FDI in India, also the trend and pattern of Indian industry abroad. We can also understand the concept of merger and acquisition. Let's start with trend and pattern of FDI in India. If a developing country was to embark on rapid economic development, it will have to import machinery, technical know-how, spare parts, and even raw material. This requires large amount of foreign exchange. One mechanism is to generate the required foreign exchange is to step up exports. Another mechanism is to invite foreign investment. Foreign investment are of four types: direct foreign investment, foreign collaboration, intergovernment loans and loans from financial institutions, and external commercial borrowing. In this section, we would analyze the trend and pattern of FDI, that is foreign direct investment in India after 1991. The trend and pattern of FDI in India can be analyzed with the help of data on FDI inflows by broad industry groups, FDI inflows by country of origin, FDI inflows by state of destination, and FDI inflows by region-wise breakup. FDI inflows data clearly shows there is a huge jump in the total FDI proposal approved. In 1991, the proposals approved stood at 534 crore, which enhanced to rupees 6,042 crore in 2003. However, these approvals have not been converted into actual inflows. Of course, there is no doubt that it takes some time for all these proposals to translate into actual inflows. Yet, the actual inflows were comparatively lower than till 1997. However, thereafter a recovery is noticed. Actual inflow during 2002 peaked to rupees 21,286 crore. FDI inflows indicate a high level of concentration, as 69% of inflows were attracted to 10 sectors. More positive point is nearly 36% of the FDI inflows are in high priority areas like computer, software and hardware, telecommunication, construction, power, automobile industries, metallurgical, drugs and pharmaceutical. The concentration is also repeated in the source of FDI destination, as Mauritius accounts for 38% of inflows between April 2000 and March 2008, followed by Singapore and UK with 19% and 9% respectively. The other contributors to actual inflows of some significance were Japan, USA, Germany and Netherlands. Looking at the cause of huge investment from Mauritius, it will be understood that Mauritius-based investments are nothing but US investments and investment of other developed countries. They are routed through Mauritius because of the tax advantage. The tax advantage emanates from the double tax avoidance agreement that India has with that country. Also, concentration is revealed in region-wise breakup of FDI inflows, as 6 regions, that is Mumbai, Delhi, Mangalore, Chennai, Ahmedabad and Hyderabad, accounts for 71% of FDI inflows. It also implies that the majority of FDI flowing to regions with better infrastructure and connectivity, leaving the backward regions to depend upon domestic investment. Foreign investment inflows since 1991, a critical appraisal. Yet, FDI approvals reveal a quantum jump since the liberalization of policy in 1991. Yet the actual inflows have been much less. Thus, foreign investors have not matched their intent with performance. In fact, actual inflows have been less than half of the approvals. Another point of worry as regards FDI inflows into India that is not going into fresh capital formation but in mergers and acquisition. Almost 40% of the inflows seem to have been used for acquiring industrial assets and their managerial control. FDI has been blamed for further accentuating regional disparities in India, as Delhi, Maharashtra, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Daman and Diu, Haryana, select parts of Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka have received more than half of their FDI inflows. A large part of the country has received only negligible part of such inflows. FDI inflows in India have received a serious boost after the initiation of economic reforms in 1991. However, when we compare India with China, it is realized that inflows received by India is far negligible in comparison to China. According to report on currency and finance, FDI inflows to China in 1990s were 10 times of the inflows to India. A part of the difference in FDI inflows between India and China is because of the definitional and conceptual issues, as there has been underestimation of FDI in India. However, even after accounting for the difference, FDI in China continues to be much higher than that of India. Majority of FDI flows is largely in white goods sector, in automobile and other luxury items, catering to the needs of the rising upper middle class and rich class. Share of investment in strategically important high-tech sector and in consumer good industries catering to the needs of the poor are not significant. An important objective of promoting FDI has been to remove efficiency in production and increasing exports. However, as correctly pointed out by C.P. Chandrasekhar, Jayati Ghosh, any increase in the equity stake of foreign investor in existing joint ventures or purchase of a share of equity by them in domestic firms would not automatically change the orientation of the firm. That is, the aim of such FDI investors would be to benefit from the profit earned in the Indian market. As a result, in such case, FDI inflows need not to be accompanied by any substantial increase in exports, whether such investment leads to modernization of domestic capacity or not. The next point what we are going to cover today is trend and pattern of Indian industries abroad. Early 1960s saw the emergence of Indian transnational corporation on the international scene. When a few big Indian business conglomerates like Tata, Birla and the Kirloskar began to expand the productive activities trans-border by investing in Sri Lanka and African countries. Since then, Indian economy has seen a continuous growth in Indian transnational corporations' activity over time with constant changes in the nature, characteristic and motivation of such activities. However, as compared to the past trend, the growth in the phenomena of Indian enterprises investing abroad has been more rapid only in 1990s. The cumulative number of Indian joint ventures approved during 1990s is estimated to be 2,562, nearly 11-fold increase from the number of Indian joint ventures permitted during 1975 and 1990 at a mere 230. In terms of equity value, this real boom period of Indian transnational corporation activity saw an outflow of $4,262 million worth of Indian direct investment as compared to mere $222 million outflow during the pre-1990s period. As a result of the massive outflow, the actual stock of Indian direct investment now stood at $6.6 billion by the end of March 2004. Leapfrog jump from $116 million in 1980. The evolution of Indian outward foreign direct investment can be divided into two distinct periods, from 1975 to 1990 and from 1991 to the present. In the first wave of outward foreign direct investment, the major investors were the manufacturing firms, as manufacturing firms accounted for more than 65% of outward foreign direct investment equity and about 56% in outward foreign direct investment approval cases during 1975 and 90. The major chunk of investment were done in manufacturing activities like fertilizer and pesticides, leather and iron and steel, wood and paper. Financial service and leasing and hotel and tourism were the two largest service sector in outward foreign direct investment during this period. During 1975-90, the Indian outward foreign direct investment was more concentrated in the developing regions of the world economy, as reflected by the fact that about 70% of the outward foreign direct investment approvals were directed at it. Within developing region, the countries of Southeast and East Asia emerged as the largest recipient of Indian outward foreign direct investment, claiming about 36%, followed by Africa with 17%, West Asia and Central Asia with 10% each, and South Asia with 9%. Latin America and the Caribbean remain least attractive region for overseas Indian investment. Therefore, during the first wave, geographical closeness to India, familiarity of language, history and ethnicity were the factors influenced the locational decision of Indian outward investor. In the second wave of outward foreign direct investment, activities by Indian firms were largely driven by service sector enterprise, which accounted nearly 60% of the value of outward foreign direct investment. The share of manufacturing enterprise declined from 65% in first wave to only 39% during the second wave. Prominently, the second wave of FDI flows saw the emergence of drugs and pharmaceutical industry as a important outward investment sector, whose share in total foreign direct investment jumped from 2% of in the first wave to 6% in the second wave. Among service sector, the old outward investor giants such as hotel and restaurant and financial services saw a decline in their share from 11% to 3% and from 12% to 2% respectively. During the second wave, Indian IT industry and broadcasting and publishing emerged as the two largest service sector investors and were also the two largest outward investors from the economy, with 32% and 17% share respectively. Location-wise, Indian outward foreign direct investment in the second wave moved away from developing countries to industrialized countries. Out of each dollar overseas investment made by the economy, about 60 cents has gone into developed region. The developed countries, namely UK, USA, were the top two hosts of Indian outward foreign direct investment during this period, jointly accounting for more than half of the total outward foreign direct investment. Top 20 major hosts of Indian outward foreign direct investment in terms of volume of outward investment in the second wave. Among developing regions, the Southeast and East Asia has reported the largest decline from 30% during first wave to mere 9% during the second wave. The other developing regions have witnessed a decline in attractiveness as a host of Indian outward foreign direct investment where Central Asia, Latin America. Latin America has seen some improvement in its hosting role from less than 1% to 4%. This changing locational distribution of outward foreign direct investment from India therefore indicate that the ownership advantages of Indian enterprise are increasing, finding larger role in advanced countries. Further, advanced countries being service-driven economies are offering growing markets for service sector Indian MNEs, particularly from software sector. An important finding is that Indian knowledge-based industries like software and pharmaceutical industries have contributed largest number of outward investment firms to this group and top 40 outward investors. There are 14 firms from Indian software industry and 8 firms from the Indian pharmaceutical industry which jointly claim for 22 largest outward investors from Indian economy among the top 20 group. The analysis shows that outward foreign direct investment from India has increased considerably during the second wave as compared to the first wave. The first wave of outward foreign direct investment flows was dominated by few manufacturing sectors and was largely limited to developing countries. The pattern of outward foreign direct investment changed in the second wave when Indian firms began to invest abroad on a much larger scale and the investments were well diversified and increasing the investment was dominated by service sector. Locationally also they are moving towards developed countries. The next point what we are going to cover is merger and acquisition. A merger is said to occur when two or more companies combine into one company. One or more companies may merge with an existing company or they merge to form a new company. Laws in India use the term amalgamation for merger. For example, Section 2(1)(a) of the Income Tax Act 1961 define amalgamation as a merger of one or more companies with another company or the merger of two or more companies called amalgamating company or companies to form a new company called amalgamated company, in such a way that all the assets and liabilities of the amalgamated company and shareholders holding not less than 9/10 in value of the shares in the amalgamating company or companies become shareholders of the amalgamated company. Thus, in merger, the fundamental characteristic of merger is that the acquiring company takes over the ownership of other companies and combine their operation with their own operation. As against this acquisition is defined as an act of acquiring effective control by one company over assets or management of other company without any combination of companies. Thus, in an acquisition, two or more companies may remain independent, separate legal identity, but there may be a change in control of companies. What are the different forms of merger? Depending upon the relationship between the two companies, we can classify merger into 4 types. Horizontal merger, vertical merger, market extension merger, product extension merger, conglomeration. Horizontal merger. This is a merger or two or more companies in similar type of production, distribution and area of business. Vertical merger. This is a merger or two or more companies involved in different stages of production and distribution. Market extension merger. This is a merger or two or more companies that sell the same products in different markets. Product extension merger. This is a merger or two or more companies selling different but related product in the same market. Conglomeration. This is a merger or two or more companies that are engaged in unrelated line of business. Reason for merger and acquisition. There are various reasons why firms go forward with merger and acquisition. Generally, the reasons fall into the category of competition, efficiency, marketing, product, resources, tax issues. Various reasons for merger and acquisition include tax shield. When a firm with accumulated losses or unabsorbed depreciation merges with a profit-making firm, tax shields are utilized better. A profit-making firm, when it merges into a firm with accumulated losses or unabsorbed depreciation, it can set off the loss-making firm accumulated losses and absorb depreciation against its own profit, and tax benefits can be quickly realized. Surplus cash. A cash-rich company with limited internal opportunities to invest its surplus cash may have two options to invest its surplus cash: pay a higher dividend to the shareholders or acquire some other company. In the first option, the shareholder may not benefit much because when the surplus cash is distributed to the shareholders in the form of dividend, they'll have to pay tax at ordinary income tax rate, which is on the higher side. The benefits are more in the second option because the shareholders' wealth may increase through an increase in the market value of their shares. If surplus cash is used to acquire another company, if they sell their shares, they'll have to pay a lower capital gain tax in compared to higher income tax. Economies of scale. Economies of scale arise when increase in the volume of production leads to a reduction in the cost of production per unit. Merger may help to expand volume of production without a corresponding increase in fixed cost. Thus, fixed cost is distributed over a large volume of production, causing the unit cost of production to decline. Economies of scale may also arise from other indivisibilities such as production facility, management functions, and management resource and system. This happens because a given function, facility, or resource is utilized for a large scale of operation. Operating economies. In addition to economies of scale, a combination of two or more firms may result in cost reduction due to operating economies. A combined firm may avoid or reduce overlapping function and facility. It can consolidate its management function such as marketing, manufacturing, R&D, and reduce operating costs. Synergy. Synergy implies a situation where the combined firm is more valuable than the sum of the individual combining firm. It is defined as 2 plus 2 equal to 5 phenomena. Synergy refers to benefits other than those related to economies of scale. Operating economies is also one type of synergy. Synergy may also arise from increased managerial capabilities, creativity, innovativeness, R&D, etc. Reduce competition. One major reason for companies to combine is to eliminate competition. Acquiring a competitor is an excellent way to improve firm's position in the marketplace. It reduces competition and allows the acquiring firm to use the target firm resources and expertise. Market and market fraud-like issues. Often mergers occur simply because one firm is well established in the market in which the other company wants to enter. In this situation, rather than setting a new company, if the firm acquires the target company, it can readily utilize the firm's experience and resources. Increase market power. A merger can increase the market share of the merged firm. The increased market share improves the profitability of the company. The bargaining power of the firm, again, labor, suppliers and buyers is also enhanced. The merged firm can also exploit technological breakthrough against obsolescence and price war. Thus, by limiting competition, the merged firm can earn supernormal profit. Thus, by limiting competition, the merged firm can earn supernormal profit and employ the surplus fund to further consolidate its position and improve its market power. Thank you.